We're cargo moving people from NW Railway. And that, my friends, is about the upper limit of my musical abilities. There are many things the Norfolk and Western Railway is known for, but one of the most prominent was their large articulated steam freight locomotives. Built in-house at the railroad's own Roanoke shops, these iron beasts could pull off some rather impressive feats. Wrestling heavy loads over the Blue Ridge or thundering the same loads across the Piedmont, the NW's big brutes had already cemented their legacy before they became the last regularly operating standard-gauge steam locomotives on any major American railroad. Naturally, the demand for NW steam in HO scale has been great enough for manufacturers to mass-produce many of the iconic NW classes. Back in 2021, I got 2 models of these mammoths brand new through my go-to retailer at the time. This pair, a Broadway Limited Imports Paragon 3 Y6B and an A-Class, have seen a decent bit of use since then. I think I've felt out what they will and won't do, and what some of the weak points are. Let's take a closer look. The Y6B locomotives were the penultimate 2882 Mallet design on the Norfolk and Western. The first Y1 Mallet locomotives were delivered in 1910, and the last Y6B was built in 1952. The N&W had many variations of 2882, with the 30B versions of the Y6 design being the last. Being compound Mallet locomotives that used steam twice before exhausting it, yet being a modern design, the Y6B could produce more horsepower than a big boy, but were designed to put that power to the track in slow-speed mountain freight and coal train service. They were among the last steam locomotives active on the N&W. However, they were well known even before that for creating an amazing sight lugging long strings of loaded coal hoppers over the Blue Ridge on the daily. Broadway Limited Imports had carried the Y6B since the die-cast Precision Craft Models days. This Paragon 3 version has enough weight that it feels die-cast to me, but I am not 100% certain. I have never actually found the upper pulling capacity of this model. Despite the maximum 4% grade on the Northern Virginia Model Railroaders Club layout the engine has called home since it arrived, I have never seen a train it couldn't pull. As far as problems with the model, I have very few complaints. I have seen a few odd little transient electrical gremlins pop up now and then, but those are fairly rare. It pulls well, it's very reliable, and it's an all-around great engine. The Y6B is one of the models I have that has earned enough trust for me to run it at an NVMR open house. During open houses, access to various parts of the layout is difficult, so one needs equipment that performs solidly. The Y6B is one such engine for me, and she has run at several NVMR open houses over the years. There was one minor issue with the tender, but this is a problem shared by the Y6B and A-Class. The tender frame and shell interface in such a way that the speakers can vibrate a piece of the frame against the shell, creating a resonating buzzing noise. One of my fellow club members suggested putting some electrical tape in there, which cleared it right up. The A-Class 2664s of the Norfolk and Western were the railroad's biggest articulateds. They were built with fast freight in mind. The first was built in 1936, and 43 of them, numbered 1200 through 1242, would roam the N&W system. While often paired with Y6 helpers to get over the Blue Ridge, once in the flatlands heading for Norfolk, the A's could hustle a train along at 70 miles per hour with ease, or rush 150 loaded coal hoppers solo. Broadway Limited Imports first offered the A-Class as part of their Blue Line product line in the early 2000s. This model of 1241 represents one of the last A's to be built with all roller bearings. Again, I do not know what the upper pulling limit of this locomotive is. On one of its first test runs, I put 36 cars behind it and sent it up the loops. She hardly broke a sweat. As much as I like the engine, though, this one does not quite reach the level of the Y6B. Most of the issues have to do with the driving wheels and running gear. The weight distribution of the model is strange. The rear engine unit takes the bulk of the weight, the front engine unit has almost no weight on it, and the pilot wheel sits purely by its own weight. Even with all that weight on it, the main driving wheel of the rear engine unit has a tendency to pop off the rails in some circumstances. If that happens before a set of switches, the engine will sometimes derail in spectacular fashion. To be fair, it doesn't happen everywhere or frequently, but where it does happen, it happens reliably. I believe the weight distribution is also to blame for an issue often pointed out in the comments section of almost every video the engine has appeared in before. Going forward down the track, the front engine unit bounces up and down, which gives the engine an appearance similar to that of a rabbit chewing on a piece of lettuce. Interestingly enough, the chewing motion does not happen running in reverse. The same resonance and vibration occurred in the A's tender as well, but was fixed in the same manner with a little electrical tape. So there you have it. I think they're both great engines, but the Y6B is the clear winner of the two. Now, that's not to say the A is crap, it's a good engine, it's just a little quirky and pickier about what track it likes and dislikes. They're both great engines, and I'm happy to have them in my collection. I hope this video is either of some help to you if you're thinking about adding either locomotive to your collection, or just simply entertaining if you're not. Regardless, stay safe out there, and enjoy this great hobby of ours. Oh, by the way, while filming this video, I found out the hard way that my N&W canteen water tender needs coupler work. On the hill.
What let go this time? The whole thing.
No damage, just a slight panic attack. I'll see you all around.